in my backyard.
I'm Jenna.
I'm Jody, and this is Amanda, and she is from the Cheshire County Conservation District. We are actually in a barn right now, but this is just to get us in the mood and get us towards that conservation, agricultural kind of feel. So today we're going to be talking about some of the things that the Conservation District does. I know that there's conservation districts in just about every county throughout New Hampshire, I'm sure throughout the United States, and they all do different things to help individuals and farmers do a better job at what they do, or to do things in a healthier way. They provide grants and different things. So Amanda, I'm going to let you do a little talking, and we'll just chime in as we go along.
Yeah, we'll learn something, because I didn't even know about conservation districts before we started talking about doing the show today. So I'm excited to learn a little bit more. Yep. So tell us about your job and about your organization a little bit.
All right, so the Conservation District in Cheshire County, we've got an office up in Walpole, New Hampshire, and the bulk of our clientele who we really work with is farmers and forest landowners, and we work with them to conserve the natural resources on their property, to use them in a responsible way, because it's not about just the preservation, leave the resources alone, don't use them. It's like, let's use them, let's, we want to be managing our forests and managing our farms in a way that's making them even better for the future generations.
And so with that, how many staff members do you have up there?
Right now we have 1.5.
Okay.
So one full-time and one part-time. But we also work with a lot of different contractors throughout the year, individuals that will come in and help us with a grant project.
And everything you do is in Cheshire County?
That's right.
Right? Okay, so that would be, if someone's watching right now and owns some maybe maple sugaring land and they want to do a better job of taking care of that land, would they contact your office?
Absolutely. We are always looking for new forest landowners, farmers, anybody who's interested in what they can do for their property, to give us a call and talk to us about what their goals are, what questions they might have about their resources. We would come out, do a site visit. We work a lot with the Natural Resources Conservation Service, and they're part of the Department of Agriculture for the U.S., so the USDA. And so we would talk to you a little bit, hook you up with someone at NRCS, that's the short abbreviation for it, for Natural Resources Conservation Service. And they come out, talk to you one-on-one, walk your land with you, and just check things out, see if maybe there's a program for financial and technical assistance that could help.
So what kind of assistance do they give people, on their properties? Is it like irrigation? Is it bringing things up to code, or to,
It's such a wide variety. You brought up the maple sugaring, right? So we're in that season right now, maple sugaring. Say we have a maple sugar who wants to make their boiling process more efficient, so they want to get a reverse osmosis system. We have financial programs that can help pay a real good share of that. I think it's about 75% it will help pay for some of the costs to change a system for what they're currently doing to something that's more efficient.
So does this have
energy.
Does this have to be for like a farmer, or can this be for individuals that want to make syrup? Does it need to be large or small, or how does that work?
The way they describe it is acreage neutral. It's not about how big of a farm you are or how small of a farm. It just has to be that you are a producer. You're making some sort of agricultural
product, something,
including just managing a forest with timber. And but for a lot of the programs, there is a cutoff. You have to be able to produce about $1,000 worth of products in 1 year. Which, when it really isn't very much when you start adding it all up. It's a lot of homesteaders even fit into that very easily when you look at the eggs they produce, the meat, the vegetables. So
do you do anything for beekeeping?
Beekeeper. I have a quick question. Where does the funding for your office come from? Is that, if it's county-wide, is it, maybe county taxes? Do you know? It is.
It is. So my position, one position for the Conservation District is funded by Cheshire County, by taxpayers. So I'm actually a county employee, and but that's the portion that they fund. The rest of our budget, the operational, all the programming costs, everything has to be fundraised. So we go to grants for that. We look to individual donors. So we're sort of like a nonprofit in that way.
That's interesting combination.
Yeah, it is. And a lot of people kind of have a question about it, like how does that work? But we really run a lot like a nonprofit. We're kind of quasi-governmental. We have a board of supervisors. So they're Cheshire County landowners, managers, people who have a stake in this. And
Well,
can
yeah,
give
and
us
people
input.
who have maybe used your services in the past,
Exactly.
really appreciated it, and then can, you know, see the importance of it and want to help others do that. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
So what are some of the funding sources that you have? You said you do fundraising and different things like that. What are some of the fundraisers that you do?
Our biggest fundraiser of the year is our plant sale. We do a conservation plant sale, and we sell a lot of edible, so apple, pear, peach trees, all sorts of different things like that, as well as native.
I was about to say that.
And the native are
Then
really important.
Really important
Yeah.
to make sure people are planting native plants on their land.
Yeah.
Exactly.
For us, of course, Jenna loves bugs. I love bees. So, you know, when you can plant anything that is natural or original to that area, that's very important for any kind of
For the
pollination.
entire
or anything
ecosystem,
like that.
really, yeah. We've done, you know, we've done other shows about different kinds of things, and I would love to do one on native plants in the future. And I think that's a great resource to know that you guys sell these native plants,
Right.
that if someone comes to that plant sale, they're buying something that is really the right thing to buy given where we live.
Right.
Absolutely.
So that happens in February?
Yeah, we usually put out our calendar for catalog for the year, January through the end of February, and people pre-order, and then they come and pick them up in April at Allison's Orchard.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I think I
really?
saw that online too. Do you have a website?
We do. It's
Yep.
CheshireConservation.org, and we've always got new stuff coming up on there. So.
And are they, you know, for people like me who are just learning about, you know, home gardening and planting,
Yes.
would there be some, you know, guidance as to good shade plants or good, you know, is that
Absolutely.
part of that? Okay.
There's a couple ways we do it. In the descriptions, we work with Fedco. It's a great company out of Maine. And we try to include as much details in the descriptions that we hand out. But every time we do our plant sale, the pickup day, we have numerous workshops that talk to people
really?
about planting and pruning.
Really? That's
wonderful.
fabulous.
So UNH Cooperative Extension.
Sounds like a program.
Yeah, we would love to have that.
Yeah.
Cooperative Extension, Carl Majewski, Davey Witchland
Yes.
comes and does a mushroom, because we also
Yep.
sell his mushrooms through our sale.
Yep.
So it's a fun event for people to learn a lot and ask questions.
Yeah, and that's something when we think about our viewers for the show, I often think, you know, these are people much like myself who have a real interest in doing the right thing on your land or the right thing in your backyard or the right thing, you know, for whatever it might be in terms of conservation, in terms of treating the outdoors like we want to, and being able to know that you can go to this plant sale. I mean, it's the perfect spot for me. I'm going to jump online when I get home. I'm serious.
So, okay, so you have other things like, do you need volunteers?
We
do you
love
have
volunteers.
Yeah?
We have so many different ways that we work with volunteers. I mentioned the board, so we're always looking for volunteers in that way. We also have this program called the Monadnock Farm and Community Connection, and that is a volunteer-led, volunteer-driven program that works on community projects that are connecting farmers with the community. So we do a film festival every year, so we get volunteers
where's
to help
that held?
organize that. It's held in downtown Keene and places like in Alstead and Walpole throughout the
And
community.
what is that called?
It's called Feast on This.
I think I did one of those programs
You
last
did?
year. Yeah, for beekeeping.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, really?
It's really, and they have different movies and again, presentations that they do from different category, you know, different subjects
Right.
and
Oh,
things like that.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, we try to hook you up with local farmers like this one.
Yeah.
So we watch a movie on bees, then we have a
Right.
speaker. We watch a movie on female farmers, and have Tracy Smith come in or something
Right.
like that.
Oh,
So
interesting. I never knew about that. So then
Yeah.
if people want information on that, they can still go to your website?
yeah, everything's up there.
Wow,
That
there's so
is
much
wonderful.
more than I had imagined.
I know.
thought it was just a bunch of, not just a bunch of farmers. Farmers are very important. But I just thought it was very agricultural related. But it's really for everyone. And you can be small, medium, large in
Yes.
the farming
Or you
communities.
could just be a regular homeowner who wants to buy some native plants and
Right.
help with your fundraising effort
Yep.
in that way.
Yeah.
I actually have a really good friend who's really interested in purchasing plants for his yard. He and his family built a home, and it was pretty much an empty lot and, you know, a real canvas. They could create what they wanted. And I'm going to have to let them know about this plant sale as well, because I know that they do ordering, but they order from all, you know, places that are far and wide. And they've been trying to find somewhere more local, and this is the perfect opportunity for that.
And the good thing about it is because, you know, you want to get native plants, you don't necessarily want to get plants that are grown in like Virginia. Because
Exactly.
they're not very hardy.
Right.
So we always buy from Maine.
Right.
So they're really really hardy plants. They're great for New Hampshire, even when we have winters. Quite not doesn't seem like we need the
winter.
hardiness.
Yeah, strange winter this year.
But it's actually
really important for the plants.
Yeah, and I think this year it's actually more important because we don't have the snow. We don't have that buffer of snow that's insulating everything. So
that is so true.
You know, it's as great as it is that we don't have snow this year and nobody's slipping around. Still, you never know what it's going to do to your environment with the bugs and everything.
It'll be interesting to see. It'll be very interesting to see. Now, I have a question. I know that your organization did some work with Piccadilly Farm. What was it that they did out there?
So we just recently honored Piccadilly Farm as our Cooperative of the Year for 2011, and what that means is they worked hand in hand with the Natural Resources Conservation Service and the Conservation District to do a lot of great things on their property. They did all sorts of stuff from putting up a high tunnel, which is a type of often commonly referred to as a greenhouse, but where you're planting directly into the ground.
Okay.
So you're able to extend your season and grow a lot longer. So they've been able to do that. They've done all sorts of stuff for nutrient management, cover cropping, a whole list of different things.
That's
that they've
wonderful.
Been able to work on.
And where is Piccadilly Farm located, for those that don't know?
Down in Winchester.
Okay.
Pretty much almost on the Massachusetts border down there, and they have an amazing, beautiful farm and a great website too that you can check out.
Yeah, I actually have friends that get their CSA in the summertime.
Yep.
So,
and I've seen their advertisements in the Monadnock Table as well.
Now, is Piccadilly Farm, when they are doing these projects, are they likely to be getting grants from the NRCS to do some of this work?
Exactly.
Because it's expensive for a farmer to
it is really
do a lot of these things.
And we're really looking for farmers to kind of go above and beyond the norm. So the government realizes that, and they want to help provide funds to make it happen.
Wonderful.
So they come in after they, figure out what they need. They put in an application, which is a really not too much paperwork actually, and we have a really good chance of getting funding for people. Pay up to 75%, or if you're a beginner farmer, up to 90% of the cost.
Wow.
So it is a really good program that we want people to take advantage of.
Yeah. And this all ties into some of the other shows that we've done where, you don't have to have a huge lot to have a garden. You can have a small garden, not to say that everything would coincide with all of your funding, but just get started, and you never know where you're going to go from there. You might end up as a major farmer and making money on some things. It can be a hobby, it can be a lifestyle.
Yep, exactly. And the other thing I wanted to mention with that is every time I think about a place like Piccadilly Farm or some of the other farms in the area that do these CSAs, that's a way for people that are busy, that maybe don't have a profession in this area, to really support our local agriculture, and then also really reap the benefits in your own health and well-being, because getting those things from more local sources, the nutrients they're just much richer in nutrients if you get it locally.
And you know what you're eating.
Exactly.
You know that you didn't have pesticides in it, or what you put on it, fertilizers and different things like that. So it's all good for you.
And all these things are so tied together. I'm impressed that that places, that there's this really local resource in your office where you can call and just say, hey, listen, I would like to work towards whatever goal, and then be able to have some advice on how to do that, because sometimes you can get online and you can Google it, but it's so overwhelming, and to be able to have knowledgeable people there that can assist you is wonderful.
And we don't necessarily always have the answers in our office. People kind of think of ourselves as like a chamber of commerce for natural resources. Like, give us a question. Chances are, if we can't do it, we know the right people to hook you up with, whether it's a state agency or cooperative extension or someone just to point you in the right direction.
Now, if somebody does want to get involved with it, say, you've got somebody that's retired,
Yeah.
or somebody that's just starting out, they're in college, they don't know what direction they want to go to.
Yeah.
Do you have internships, anything like that? You
We do.
Okay.
We have a great deal of internships on a variety of topics. We like to try to match, what our goals are with interns' goals, try to find stuff out. But on our website, we actually have a whole list of internships that are available.
Great.
But we could also do other things beyond that, but those are some of the ones we do
What are
every
some of
year.
the examples, just to give us an idea?
Sure. One, for example, we have been promoting agricultural commissions in the region. So if you're in a community that doesn't have an agricultural commission, almost every community in this county pretty much doesn't. A year ago there was only one, and now there's, I think, only 6. But
And
out of 23
what
towns.
is an agricultural commission?
So a lot of people are familiar with a conservation commission or planning board, so a town board. And the agricultural commission is really similar. It's there to help be the voice of the farmer, to say, that zoning or that regulation not really that very helpful. Maybe you should allow us to have some seasonal signage or change some of the rules with how we can have housing, and or maybe start a farmer's market or community garden in a community. So they've been doing all sorts of different work.
So it sounds like a big collaboration of ideas and things like that.
And so we've been going around trying to educate communities that this is an option if you're interested in it. And interns for that sort of thing, to get the word out, doing education. Coming up, we're going to be doing a farm to institution pilot for a whole next year, all of 2012 into 2013, trying to get farmers connected with selling to schools, so wholesale selling. So we've got a couple interns from Keene State College right now who are going to be working on that. What are the ways to build connections and educate everybody about why this is the benefit? So they really range. We can, from Keene State, Antioch, even we've had some high school kids help out with projects before.
Wow. What a great area we live in, don't we?
We do. All these things I never knew about, too.
Yeah. Great. Until we started doing this in my backyard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I don't know what I was going to say either.
Oh, I thought of something for bees we do. We do help landowners, like big, large landowners, farmers, if they want to do pollinator patches, we help pay them to put pollinator patches in. So if you...
Because I do know a couple of people that wanted to do some pollination, so they should probably contact you.
Absolutely,
Yeah. That would be
Wonderful.
great. Yeah. Because, you know, there's all kinds of different pollination that you can do, but most of it's, you know, with honeybees. But so let me see, what have we missed? Is there anything else that people need to know about the conservation district? Keep going. I'm going to go.
Yeah.
You just keep talking.
One thing is, like to mention is every year we do a local VOR, Jeffrey P. Smith, it's called a local VOR farm scholarship. And we send kids that are interested in farming, that might be interested in agriculture, to farm camp, to after school farming programs.
Oh, that's
to
great.
join memberships.
I had known about this.
New
That's
Hampshire.
wonderful.
So, every year around this time, January, February, March, we accept applications and we accept donations to the fund all year round. And kids get to go. Last year we sent 10 kids to actually Stonewall Farm to come to camp here. And but many other programs like Orchard Hill, Croca, NOFA, New Hampshire, they're all engaged in the program too.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And is it all related to agriculture?
That's our goal, is to try to hook them up with with farms that do camps that are related to agriculture, the natural world, getting out there and getting connected.
Okay.
So do you do any computer programs? I mean, because I really like to keep people inside. No, this is wonderful because this is really what I think. You know, we want to see is we want to see people getting outside and. Learning more about nature and agriculture and gardening and all of this and
making
a lot
more
of things.
Of a connection. The way I see it too is making a connection between the food you eat, the world you live in, the trails you hike, and if you don't hike trails, to get out there and find some, because that's another thing that I think. You know, places we're filming this at Stonewall Farm today, but at Stonewall Farm you have so many different things, just like you do at so many different farming areas. You might have, you know, some dairy, you might have some vegetable growing, and then you might have some great areas to explore in the woods. Right. So, and all of that ties into what you guys do at the Conservation District. Right. So, it's wonderful. So you mentioned that we're here at Stonewall Farm today. What was it? Has the farm gotten grants before here for any projects?
Yeah, this farm has beyond just community partnership work, they've gotten some NRCS funding to do stuff here. They've gotten one of those high tunnels that I was talking about earlier for season extension. They've also done work with erosion and water quality on their property, so making sure that their roads where their manure spreader goes over up to where they stack everything, that to make sure that that is upgraded and make sure so it's not getting into the wetlands there.
That's very important.
There's all the work that NRCS does is really connected to, you know, water quality, building soil health, as well as, you know, wildlife and, you know.
So it's really broad. You know, there just seems like there's a lot to it.
Yeah.
Right. I know, it's so good. So I just wanted to just mention to folks that are interested in the kind of topics that we do here on In My Backyard, to definitely, if there's something that you're interested in, to send us an email. The email address is inmybackyardch8@gmail.com, and you can contact Jody and myself. And again, if you're interested in contacting the Cheshire County Conservation District, is that the right?
Yes.
Cheshire County, okay. That would be, tell the email address again.
To email, it's amanda@cheshireconservation.org.
Okay.
And the website's cheshireconservation.org. So.
Okay, so we can find out a lot of things from that.
Right.
So again, if you're interested in any topic for the Monadnock region, farming, hiking, and so on, shoot Jody and I an email. Lots of times we can get folks on the show if you're interested. and we can go from there. And right now, I think we should go check out some of these great opportunities here at Stonewall Farm.
Right.
There's so much to see here, even though it's a cold, cold day in February that we're shooting right now.
It is really cold.
It is a beautiful time to hike.
Yeah,
it really is.
it is.
So, and to just walk around and visit the animals here. So I want to thank Amanda so much
Oh, thank you guys
Thank
for
you.
coming on. I've
opportunity.
learned a ton today. I feel like I can go home and tell my family a whole new, organization that I didn't even know existed.
Right.
And any thoughts from you, Jody, as we go inside to warm up in a little bit?
I just say get out and enjoy the outdoors. There's so much to offer, and why sit in front of a computer all day? We do it all the time. Get outside and enjoy looking up at the sky and walking the fields and getting out there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So thank you to everybody. Thank you, Amanda, and we'll
Thank you.
hopefully see you in my backyard.